Me and Supersonic. I awoke. I realized in this moment that I wasn't in my bed. I was wondering where I was. I found myself surrounded in darkness. Very thick darkness. It was getting hard for me to breathe. Suddenly, I felt the darkness start to choke me. I was coughing and I felt the darkness grab my body. I wanted to scream and I wanted to wiggle my way out of the darkness, but I was so tired. My eyes started to fill up with tears. Seconds later, I saw something huge suddenly flashing in front of me. The flash only lasted for a split second, but what I saw scared me. The image is too scary to talk about. I can't even describe what it looks like. I thought that I was just imagining it because of the darkness, so I tried to keep the thought away. It was hard to do that though because the darkness is causing me to feel scared and worried. A few seconds later, the image from the flash came back and it was blinking like crazy. The image was rapidly getting bigger and bigger. As it grew, I heard extremely loud static. I tried to get my hands to cover my ears, but the darkness caused me not to be able to feel my hands. I felt the darkness get even thicker, and I was wailing under my breath. The static got louder and louder, and the image grew bigger and bigger until I couldn't handle it anymore. I thought that I was going to be deaf because of that static. Just then, the image went away, and the static suddenly stopped. I felt the pressure from the darkness stop too. I looked around in worry for about 15 seconds. I wanted to take a huge breath of relief, but before I could, suddenly the image came back and screamed at me and it was moving. I quickly shut my eyes and burst in tears. I wanted to yell for help, but the darkness was controlling me. I felt my heart rate increasing extremely rapidly. I couldn't handle this anymore, so I did my best to scream through the darkness. It wasn't very loud, but I screamed with all my heart, with my eyes still shut and exploding in tears. Help! Immediately after I screamed, something bright was lighting the room. As the light got brighter, the darkness was leaving me, and I knew that someone was here to rescue me. Everything stopped after a few seconds, and then I opened my eyes. I saw a gold-yellow figure in the distance. When I restored my vision enough from crying so much, I realized who it was. I gasped in shock and happiness. Sonic! I ran to him and jumped in his arms, crying. Sonic the Hedgehog was in his super form, and he was here to rescue me. He was giving me a warm and comforting hug. A hug that I'll never forget. I felt his warm touch as he was rubbing my back and he was holding me tight. I heard him talk to me say, "Shh.
It's okay, girl. I'm here now."
I stayed in his arms for a few more minutes. My tears were starting to dry away. Then I let go and said with my voice breaking, "Sonic, can you take me out of this dark area? I don't like it here." He nodded. He carried me in his arms. Just then, he said,
"Hold on tight to me. It's gonna be a pretty fast ride."
I wrapped my arms around his chest and squeezed him close to me.
You ready?
"Yeah," I said.
Then here we go.
He floated up above the ground and then flew forward. His acceleration slowly increased more and more. I kept holding on, promising myself not to let go. I loved the feeling of the wind whooshing as we were flying faster and faster. I relaxed myself and rested my head on his heart. I tried to listen for Sonic's heartbeat, but with the loud wind, it was hard to hear it. I didn't mind anyway because I thought that feeling the warm aura from his body was more worth it to me. I saw a bright light shine ahead. It was small, yet really bright. As Sonic flew me closer to the light, it grew bigger and much brighter. When we were close enough to the light, I shut my eyes and tried to relax. Then Sonic was slowing down. I felt him setting me down on a really soft and fluffy surface.
You can open your eyes now. Don't be afraid,
Sonic said. I slowly opened my eyes. I looked down and I saw that I was sitting on a cloud. I looked around and everything was really bright. I found Supersonic kneeling next to me. His yellow fur was surrounded by golden flames. The spikes on the back of his head were pointed upwards. I looked into his beautiful ruby red eyes and Sonic smiled at me. His smile was the cutest smile I had ever seen. "Where are we?" I asked. Sonic just quietly said,
You're in a safe place. With me.
His voice sounded soft like a piano playing a beautiful tune. I smiled at him. Just then, he took one hand and placed it over my heart. I looked back at his eyes. They were sparkling like stars.
Just breathe slowly.
Sonic said. I did what he told me to do. I slowly inhaled and exhaled. As I did, I saw Sonic begin to shut his eyes. When I saw his hands start glowing, I realized what he was doing. He was giving me a boost of chaos regeneration. I closed my eyes to feel Supersonic's power rush through my system. I began to feel lots of positive energy and a lot more calm. It made me forget about what happened in the dark and scary room. After a while, Sonic stopped the chaos regeneration and held on to both of my hands. We smiled at each other for a long time. At this moment, I knew that Supersonic was trying to help me feel safe. I looked into his eyes and I saw a reflection of myself. Something was different about my reflection, though. Behind my back, I saw what looked like huge angel wings, and I could see a bright halo above my head. I thought that I actually looked really pretty in that reflection. This made me wonder if that's how Sonic sees me through his eyes. The thought welled up tears of happiness in my eyes. I started to see tears of happiness in Sonic's eyes, too. I couldn't handle holding my tears in any longer, so I jumped in his arms crying again, but in joy. Sonic was slowly rubbing my back, and he said,
It's okay. Just let it all go.
My tears flowed down my face and dripped off my chin. As I was letting all my tears go, I heard Sonic humming the chorus to Just the Way You Are by Bruno Mars. He sounded so beautiful. I relaxed and almost fell fast asleep in his arms. Just then, I saw everything turn blurry and I heard everything echoing. A shattered feeling grew in my heart. I knew what this feeling meant. I got worried and said, Sonic! This moment was very special to me, but I think it's all going to end in a few seconds. I don't want you to leave. Will I ever see you again? More tears filled my eyes. Sonic put a hand on my shoulder. He smiled his biggest smile at me, and his eyes were dazzling more than ever. I could tell that this was his last and final smile for me before everything fades away.
Christina, listen to me. I promise you with all of my heart that you'll see me again. Just know that I'm always around you. I protect you every night and shine my eyes at you every morning. I comfort you whenever you're feeling down. I'm always close to you, wherever you go, even though you may not feel it.
I was listening to every single word he said. I trusted all the things that he told me. I'll never forget the final words that he told me before everything faded back to the inside of my room.
If you ever reach a time when you don't know which way to turn, follow your heart. Only it can be your true guide in life. If anyone tries to turn you away from it, that's their problem. Don't let anyone put you in the wrong path. You are the only one who makes your decisions, and your heart is a part of you. So, if you follow your heart, it will take you to the right path.
Right after Sonic said this, he slowly vanished away, as well as the bright cloudy room that we were in. Before I knew it, I was back in my bed. My eyes were open and I looked around. I saw a light coming from outside my window. I looked at the time and it said 7:30 a.m. By the wall next to my window, I saw my shelf full of plushies that I've always enjoyed playing with as a kid. I also saw my desk that had all my puzzles on it that I finished putting together a while ago. I looked next to me on my queen-size bed and I saw my Supersonic plushie. He was lying on my second pillow looking at me. He smiled at me and he shined his eyes at me just like he said he did every morning. The end.